In this experiment, we are going to study the different parts of a flower. The material required for this experiment are only a colored flower. So we generally prefer to have a bisexual flower in which all the parts are clearly visible, and for that we can have a China rose flower, which is also known as hibiscus, or a gulmohar flower, or we can also choose a datura flower because in these flowers all the parts of the flower are very clearly visible. So this is what we are going to see in the flower. The stalk of the flower known as the pedicel. These green leaf-like structures at the base of the flower known as the sepals. These red beautiful colored parts of the flower, which is the petals. Then inside we will have a look at the male reproductive part, that is the stamen, which is composed of the filament and the anther. And the female reproductive part of the flower, that is the pistil, which is made up of three parts: the stigma, the style and the ovary. So let's have a look at all these parts.
This is a hibiscus flower, popularly known as the China rose, also known as the gulmohar flower. Let us have a look at the various parts of this flower. So the stalk through which the flower is attached to the main plant, this is known as the pedicel. So if I break this pedicel or if I remove the pedicel, you can see these green colored structures here. So this one, this is the epicalyx and this is the calyx. So sepals, they are united together. These green structures that you see here, these are the sepals, and they have united to form a whorl which is known as the calyx. Then moving up, these beautiful red structures that you see, these are the petals of this flower. So you can see it has beautiful red petals. Then if I remove a few petals, let's see what's inside this flower. So we can just remove these petals to see what's inside. So what I'm removing, these are the petals. Inside this flower, you can see these structures coming out, this kind of structure. This is actually the stamen. So I'll remove the stamen. This is the stamen. This stalk of the stamen or this stem of the stamen, this is known as the filament. And these yellow structures visible at the top, these are the anthers. So inside the anthers we find the male gametes. So these yellow structures that you see on top, these are the anthers. And if you try and break these anthers, you will get a yellow powdery substance out of this, which is the pollen grain. Then further inside, if you go even more inside, you will find this. I am just breaking this open so that you can see the entire structure. I am just removing the petals. So you can see this white structure in the center. I am talking about this structure, this. So this is the female part of this flower. It is found in the innermost, that is the innermost part of this flower. This is the female part of the flower. So this structure at the bottom, this is the ovary, and this is the style, and these little structures that you see on top, this is the stigma of this flower. So this is the female part of the flower. This is the male part of the flower, and the petals, they are meant to attract the insects for pollination. That is why they are so beautiful and scented in most of the flowers. And this green whorl that was found on the outside, that is the sepals, they are meant for the protection of the flower when it was in the stage of a bud. So these are the various parts of a flower that you find in most of the flowers. So this was about the hibiscus flower.